what is CollarWorks, and give us a little bit of background.
CollarWorks, we are a contemporary arts organization located in Troy, New York, primarily working with emerging and underrepresented artists, supporting them in both the creation and exhibition of their works through our gallery programming. We run an artist residency program where we bring in artists from across the nation and globe. Really what is at the heart of our organization is the fact that we are an artist-led, artist-run, for artists by artists organization.
And how does being an artist for artists by artists, how is that a strength?
Well, we were founded in 2009 by a cohort of emerging artists right out of grad school. And they were looking around the region and noticed that there really wasn't spaces that were supporting artists like them. Young, early career, emerging, underrepresented artists making conceptually provocative, spirited, challenging works. It was oftentimes like you'd have to travel to New York City or Boston or Philly to experience the kind of works that they were making. So they wanted to stay in the area and they wanted to fill that void. And at that time, Troy had a lot of vacant properties. A lot of the historic collar factories were vacant. And so CollarWorks was birthed out of one of the historic collar factories and really had that grassroots artist collective culture where it was artists working together to support one another, show their work, champion their efforts, and value the role.
That's amazing, because we shouldn't have to go to New York, to Philly, Boston, all those other big cities that are known for arts. Like if we have the same people here, like those people sometimes move to those spaces. So it's like, why not just make our own space here? We already have the artists, we already have the people. Why not just make this our New York City, our Philly, and et cetera? Exactly.
It's, I think that's a big part of our sort of visioning constantly for the organization is how do we create a pipeline or opportunities that are truly supportive of young artists, early career artists, so that they stay.
Yes, getting them to stay is the key point as well.
Right.
So with that, you hear the phrase artist-centered and artist-first thrown around a lot in the art world. What does that phrase or approach mean to you and to CollarWorks?
It's a little bit of a loaded question.
I know, right?
But primarily, for many years, decades really, artists have had that stereotype of like starving artist, right? Or don't pursue the arts, you're not going to be able to make a viable career out of it. And under that is really the reality that artists haven't been valued, they haven't been paid fairly for their work. And at CollarWorks, that's a big part of who we are. So from the very moment we were founded, we were founded as a non-commissioned art space with 100% of the proceeds going directly back to artists.
Which is rare. Yes,
so
love
rare.
that.
Still rare, and it should not be. And so we have actively tried to make sure that financial barriers were not preventing emerging and underrepresented artists from participating in gallery exhibitions or in residency programs. So we've tried to make it very accessible to all artists and truly have it be an opportunity to be a professional springboard. What are some approaches and strategies you use to help support local emerging artists? I know you said nationally, but I know a lot of local artists are very aware and into CollarWorks. So what are some approaches that you use to really support those artists and make it accessible for them to succeed within the arts world? Right. Emerging artists, underrepresented artists are a part of every sort of aspect of the organization. We have majority artists on our board of directors. We employ artists. We have artists and arts professionals in the community playing roles in our advisory panels or selection panels. But beyond that, we really provide sort of a safe space, and wherever that space is, be it at the gallery or at the residency, for creative risk-taking. And so we really encourage young artists, emerging artists, to put on the hat as curator, to not be afraid of taking risks and putting out work that is challenging. I really feel like artists hold up a mirror to society, and we've been an organization that has been unapologetic in not being afraid to have shows that challenge society. You know, we really embrace supporting artists who are making culturally, socially, politically relevant works.
Yes.
And the conversations that work sparks is where the impact truly is.
That's true. I will say a lot of art orgs in the area, not even in the area, but a lot of art orgs in general within society, nationally, all over the place, tend to be a little bit whitewashed. Sometimes they only want a little bit of gallery level things, but like very specific, like let me get another watercolor, another water painting of like some rocks and a creek. And I like the fact that ColorWorks does put out provocative work, and put out work that you may not see in a typical kind of whitewashed gallery space. You really see very community, very different, very colorful pieces of work that you honestly would see in like Philadelphia, New York, and all those other larger cities that are known for their art hubs. So that's something that's very appreciated.
Thank you.
Now I want to talk a little bit about community. So community input within art spaces is supposed to be very important and something that's sought after, but sometimes it's a little bit overshadowed within the art world, unfortunately. What are some approaches that yourself and ColorWorks takes to make sure that the community is brought into the conversation and that they have a voice within this art space?
I think the most important part of bringing in the community is being a good listener and having respect. You know, we are engaging many communities within our organization. So it's not specific to one, geographic area per se. But the fact that we integrate our artist community within many aspects of our organization, especially since we're very grassroots, very volunteer driven, we need to listen to their voices and what they're saying and what they're bringing from their communities to the table. And so I would say that's one thing that I appreciate most about ColorWorks, is that we're not afraid to have hard conversations. We're not afraid to have deep self-reflection, and to be good listeners, and then to have that impact the decision-making and
really
how we grow and move forward.
Yes, because you can't grow if you're just listening to yourself in an echo chamber, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. I think we've done a pretty good job of always trying to keep our fingertips on the pulse of like what artists need. It helps that we are artists ourselves and can understand. But we're always trying to fill voids in the region and meet communities where they're at. It's something that for me as a person, I've always been that kind of person, scanning kind of the area and saying like, what's not here? How can I contribute to creating opportunities? So it's been something that I think is just a part of my DNA.
Yeah, you're just like, I was born with this.
Yeah, I love bringing people together, especially around the arts. And we've done it through our dinner and dialogues, where we've had a series called Collard Greens Dinner and Dialogue in the gallery, where we're bringing artists and curators and members of the community together to talk art, life, and everything in between.
There are actually collard greens involved?
There was in the first one that we did. There definitely was some collard greens that were grown by the Collar City growers. Just
full circle.
Yeah. But we really try to kind of create some like fresh and innovative programming. One program that I'm really excited about that we're adopting this fall is Flock Art. Yeah, and it's a mobile gallery program and artist residency program in a renovated 40-foot shipping container.
So cool.
So it's climate-controlled gallery that's going to be moving into urban and rural communities, connecting artists with, and their works with communities, like hosting workshops and things like that. So we're really excited about that initiative.
Yeah, the
And
fact that it's mobile is really cool. It makes it pretty accessible as well.
definitely.
Well, thank you, Liz.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming here today and talking.
Thank you, Jade. Thanks for having me.